This is called a corkscrew. This is a real object that exists in this universe. So, a grapevine is a type of light-seeking life form called a plant. They proliferate themselves by producing seeds, which include the instructions and machinery necessary to create another grapevine. But since grapevines are relatively immobile, they require a method by which to distribute these seeds, lest they compete for light with their offspring. The dispersal method that grapevines employ are clusters of spheroidal fruits called grapes, not to be confused with grapefruits, which are an entirely different species and sherbet flavor. These grapes contain the seeds, and the idea is that some sort of mobile animal will consume the object and then release the seed a day or two later, maybe 3 if they're backed up. To incentivize this transaction, the seed is coated in an energy-rich fluid. Humans are a mobile animal, and they like to eat grapes. They like them so much that they've influenced the genetic makeup of grapes to make them larger, juicier, sweeter. Humans have such apparent mastery over grapevine DNA that they've even managed to make certain breeds entirely seedless, undermining the entire reason for the grape's existence. Poor little grapevines, they don't even know they're shooting blanks. Anyway, humans will eat grapes plain, or they'll use them as filler in a medley of other plant reproductive parts called a fruit salad, or they'll dry them out completely and make them play saxophone or something. But by far the most prevalent use of grapes is in the production of a substance called wine. Humans will pick specific cultivars of grapevine and grow them in finely tuned environments called vineyards, perhaps owned by a woman named Martha. The resulting grapes are harvested en masse and crushed. The sticky mash is then stored away to rot, essentially, for years even, after which the resulting broth is bottled and sold for anywhere between $8 to $800. Humans will pay this because wine is a psychotropic substance. As the grapes decay, microscopic eukaryotes in the slurry produce a waste toxin called ethanol. Ethanol is poisonous to pretty much all life forms on the planet, but humans will nevertheless consume it in large quantities, as the brain damage it causes can be pleasurable, at least temporarily, and can assist in the mating process. The fluid will be poured into a special receptacle made specifically for this beverage, and a human might swirl it around and remark that it, quote, has good legs. This is a statement without meaning. But before that can happen, they must first release the drug, which is entombed in a vessel of melted sand, sealed with a lump of soft tree bark called a cork. Now, to remove a cork, a human may employ a twisted metallic spike, drilling it into the top of the soft wood, which provides grip and mechanical advantage and enables expulsion of the plug and access to that sweet, sweet, decomposing grape sauce. A cork is a somewhat antiquated method of sealing and unsealing a wine bottle, and humans have since invented much more effective methods, yet they are less popular, because they are perceived as being less fancy, and humans love feeling fancy. And speaking of fancy, take a look at this bad boy. I mean, just look at it. This is a real object that exists in this universe. I own 2 of them and I don't even drink wine.